Okay, so just a quick explanation on how the heater works now. We made this chart, which you have a copy of. So we have a heater and idle. We'll just show you how it did work before, which part of that is still the same. So if the temperature is below the set point, pump 1 comes on to low speed. And then after 60 seconds, if the pressure switch is closed, so if the pressure switch was open when the pump was off here, pump 1 came on low speed and the pressure switch closes. We know the pressure switch is working properly. It'll go to heater heating. So now it's heating. Once the temperature is reached, or if there's any errors or any abnormal raise in temp detected, I'll get into that later, then it jumps to cool down. So once the heater turns off, pump 1 stays on for 180 seconds, and then it comes back over here to heater idle. Okay, so that's the way it did work. Now what we've added in is the heat rate test. So the temperature is less than the set point, it comes to pump 1 low. So then after your 60 seconds, if it's an FLO condition, or if there was FLC when it was idle, so if when it was sitting here it was an FLC, it's going to come here and then directly to heat rate test. If it was fine and it comes to heater pump 1 low and then it's FLO, so it can't go to here, so it's going to come over to the heat rate test. And it says in 60 minutes have elapsed from the previous HRT. So it's going to try this 3 times, and then it'll try it once. If it fails, it'll sit for 60 minutes. It'll try it again, and it'll try it a 3rd time before it gives up. So it comes to the heat rate test, and what the heat rate test is doing is turns the heater relay on for 5 seconds, then shuts it off, and it's measuring the temperature of the high limit probe, so how quick that high limit probe is heating up. So if it heats up quickly, we know that there actually isn't enough flow past the heater for it to be safe to turn the heater on. If it doesn't heat up that quickly, and that algorithm has been figured out, so if it passes, it comes here, waits here 45 seconds, so on for 5 seconds, waits, and if there's no turn off conditions, meaning a turn off condition is it's above the set point, or there's an HL or there's some error, then it will come over to heating, it'll heat as normal, and the user will never know that this even happened. So no FLO, no FLC. If a turn off condition is true, like it did heat up too quick, it goes through a cool down and then comes back to heater idle. And it's going to sit in here for 60 minutes. And while it's here, it's going to show FLO or FLC on the top side. Okay, depending on which one started. So if it was an FLC before this happened, it'll display FLC. If it was fine and it was FLO when it was off, but we got an FLO here, it's going to display FLO on the top side. Okay, and FLO or FLC will be displayed for 55 minutes, that's what I just said, then idle for 5, then it starts all over again. Once it's failed 3 times, then it's going to stay in FLO or FLC like before. Okay, this little loop here is just heat probe test has failed, so that's when you first turn on the SPA. The first time it's powered up, it's going to do a heat probe test to check if the high limit probe is attached to the heater barrel. So it does that by turning the heater on for 5 seconds with the pump off, and it wants to see the temperature goes up, so opposite of the heat rate test, where it turns the heater relay on for 5 seconds with the pump on. It doesn't want to see any dramatic raise in temperature. The heat probe test turns it on for 5 seconds with the pump off, and it wants to see that dramatic raise in temperature. So if not, then you'll get an HPT error code. Heat rate test has failed 3 times, and you'll get FLO, and it sits for 60 minutes before starting again. Okay, so hopefully this is everybody understands this, but all it's meant to do is just get rid of those nuisance FLO or FLC error codes from pressure switches not being set correctly, or changing after the fact, or getting gummed up with stuff, or whatever happens to them. Hopefully this eliminates all of that, and we can get back to just having error codes when there's an actual error that we need to go and look at. Anyway, let me know if you have any questions.